Hi, everyone. We will be talking about the initiative and the referendum in the Arizona Constitution. So get your pens and pencils ready so that you can take some notes. Okay, so let's get started. The Arizona Constitution is the state constitution that was a trailblazer in this arena. It was full of the rights that were unheard of at its time. Many of the laws of the abiding citizens of this time looked to this particular document to help shape the laws from the states. But today we are going to talk about some of the key components of the Constitution. The first is the initiative, and the second one is going to be the referendum. So let's begin. What's the constitutional initiative? Well, it allows citizens to make changes to the state's constitution on their own. The process allows the citizen to add, change, or remove specific language. There are two different types of initiatives. There is the constitutional initiative, which allows voters to reject amendments to the Constitution that are introduced by citizens. There is the statutory initiative, which allows voters to approve or disapprove new statutes proposed by the people in the state. Now, what is a referendum? The constitutional referendum is the most prevalent way to which the Arizona Constitution is changed. There are three different types. The second type is called a statutory referendum, which allows the legislator to vote for the approval to change an amendment. And then the last is called the statutory referendum by citizens petition, or the popular referendum. And it is considered the boldest of the initiative or the referendum process. This type of referendum allows for voters to interrupt the traditional lawmaking process and is used to kill a bill already passed by the legislator and already approved by the governor. In both the constitutional initiative and the statutory initiative, citizens are the ones who initiate it. First, the initiative must survive through a petition and a ballot. The petition stage is written by the citizen and with the proposal of that particular amendment. It should be noted that any registered voter in Arizona may do this on a form from the Secretary of State. The document need not be typed or written in legalese or perfect grammatical English, but it must be on one subject. No package deals are to be made. It is then filed with the Secretary of State and circulated among the voters. It only requires 15% of the voter's signature of the last governor's race. Once all of the signatures are met, the second part of the process begins. The proposed amendment goes to the voters at the next election. It appears on the ballot as a numbered proposition with a simple yes or no. One of the most famous initiatives was the right to vote for women in 1912. Statutory initiatives have the same process as the constitutional initiatives, except these laws are about everyday laws, such as criminal, education, tax laws, and spending mandates. Only 10% of signatures are required from the voters. If it makes it through the first hurdle, it would appear on the ballot during the next general election as a proposition. One example of this kind of law that it was passed and then reestablished, or actually it was abolished and then reestablished, was the death penalty in 1916 and 1918. The referendum must be passed by the legislator, which is in the House, and then the Senate. A simple majority is all that is needed. Once it is voted on by the legislator, it moves to the people at the next general election. On rare occasions, the special election is called and it would appear on the ballot as a numbered proposition. One such law to lengthen the executive branch in 4 years was in 1968. The voters have the final say in Arizona and still must be voted on by the majority of Arizonans. The popular or statutory referendum is different because it is not by the legislator and can be relaunched by any citizens. Any registered voter can circulate a petition for signatures equal to 5% of the vote for the governor in the most recent election. It is a shorter collection time of 90 days. If there is enough signatures, the law remains or holds until the next election. This challenge appears on the ballot as a proposition and must be obtained the majority of votes. If it does not, then the law fails and hence it is vetoed by the people. What is the difference between the initiative and the referendum? The differences are very specific. Initiatives are primarily initiated by the people for both the amendment and the statutes. However, most referendums that are initiated or changed, they change the amendments or statutes and are proposed by the legislator, except for the statutory referendum, which is initiated by the voter. Petition by a citizen. In both types of initiatives, there are signatures required. The amount differs in signatures. A constitutional initiative requires 15% in signatures, but in a statutory constitution, it's only 10% of the signatures that are required. In the case of the statutory referendum by petition, only 5% of initiatives are required. Let's talk pros and cons. First of all, in the initiative, the pros are that they are initiated by the people. They require signatures and a vote, which is a great check and balance against the legislature. The cons of the initiative are that they're often drafted badly. Maybe it is also difficult for voters to understand some of the initiatives, and they can be initiated by special interest groups, which is not exactly something that you want to necessarily vote for. Also, it enables the tyranny of the majority. Let's go to the referendum pros. First of all, they are initiated by the legislature. No signatures are required except it is a statutory referendum in a statutory referendum by petition. So it also provides a level of political support for difficult decisions and creates specific points of negotiation. It also creates a mandate to follow. In the referendum cons, citizens can misrepresent their causes or intentions and may cause divisions within the community. The ideas of initiatives and referendums supported by direct democracy is because the initiatives and referendums give the people more power than the government to craft the laws in their communities. The initiative and the referendum have been a part of the Arizona since the inception in its statehood. It is still the most prominent today. In 1998, Arizonans amended the Constitution to make the procedures even stronger. Direct democracy procedures continue to generate controversy in supposition and in application. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to this particular presentation here on Zoom. If you would like to consider more information on this topic, here are some resources that I think will be helpful. Have a great day, everybody.